someone in full drag in a real life situation is kind of the point of the project itself. And the documentary is about that too. You know, it's saying that these people are not only a part of, you know, everyday life, whether you realize it or not, but they're right here and they're right next to you, whether you know what they look like on Friday night or not.
Blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where Harlem sits, putting on the ritz, spangled gowns upon a bevy of high brows down the levee, all misfits, putting on the ritz. That's where each and every Lulu Bell goes.
Darlings, welcome to Lips, the ultimate in drag dining.
Get up. Oh, we got some. Yeah, everybody get in line. It's just like Disney World. It looks close, but it's not. Woo. Mia got a big cake. Mia, you got some nice titties too. Good job, girl. Now go ahead and put your lips together and flow, baby. You are really good at that.
My name is Michael Martini, and it's really interesting because I haven't been back to New York City in 10 years. I'm sitting here in front of Lips, which 16 years ago was opened in Greenwich Village, and I had the honor of being the first hostess, you know, comedian in drag to actually start Lips. You know, it's really funny because when I first opened Lips, you know, they thought that it would be a lot of gay men coming and celebrating, and I always said, wow, you know, I think there's going to be a lot of straight, you know, bachelorette parties, and that's what it is. It's women, a lot of women. You'll see a lot of bachelorette parties come out. But it's just fun, it's over the top, it's unexpected. For me, it was about comedy. So there's different aspects even within the drag community. You have people that really, the beautiful, that look like women. For me, it was comedy.
And where are you from? You're from Colombia? Yes, you got the good stuff. Yeah, you do. And I know downstairs it's nice and tight. You gotta get it past immigration.
It's just the irony of it, a man in a dress, you know, being silly over here. And if you can't laugh at that, and you can't laugh at anything, we're in really hard economic times now. I mean, people need to laugh.
Once in a lifetime, someone comes along, bringing happiness for two. Once in a lifetime, all the world's a song, and the sun comes smiling through. Out of the blue sky comes a happy day, when your heart will say, love has found a way. Once in a lifetime, someone comes to you, making idle dreams come true.
Everybody always wants to see the drag queens. You know, if we leave you thinking about something you didn't see before, you didn't think of we could do, then if we exceed your expectations, then we've gone above and beyond what we had to do.
you're right, they're taboo. A man dressing up as a woman, or if you want to go towards the kings, a woman dressing up as a man. I think what does it is that they look good. A lot of men are again turned on, yet they don't want to say it, and a lot of women are going, gosh, I wish I was her. Because they come out not only with these boobs, but I mean, you would have no idea that anything was there. If you get to see our performers performing, you will see that they're wearing skin-tight clothing. They're not wearing the big dresses that they used to. Skin-tight clothing, and they're not showing a thing. And they can get out there, and had we not said, these are the drag queens, the majority of the public would not know that these are men in women's clothes.
I think the drag show really is like your inner crazy, your inner like what could you possibly be if you didn't care if anyone was looking, if you didn't care if people were like watching you, you would be that person, you would be the drag show, you would get on stage, you would put on whatever you wanted to wear and you would be yourself.
P.S. It should be fine.
Oh, yeah?
There's appraisals that we checked that I'll tell you later.
Go ahead, keep talking.
No, I'll tell you when you can actually listen to me.
Good, turn a little bit more around the side of the door. Right there, stop. Right elbow out slightly. There we go, stop. Nice, perfect, don't move.
Why do you keep coming back? What is it about Sky?
Because he's the best. No, I really love his approach. He's really easygoing. He's very fun to be around. Sarah's fun to be around. They're just really nice people, and you get the shots you get are awesome. So it's a win-win.
Beautiful, Sarah. Let them drop to your feet. Good. And then you can push it out this way. That's good. Stop.
I'm leaving you, baby, just because you won't be true. I'm leaving you, baby, just because you won't be true. Oh, you don't love me after all I've done.
Who is Scott Church? Who is the man yelling at me as I'm doing video? If anyone were to ask me who Scott Church is and they've never met him, I'd tell them outright, he is the epitome of the stereotype of an artist. He's moody, he is up and down constantly, but everything that he goes through gets thrown into the work. Everything he experiences, the good and the bad, gets completely absorbed and then thrown back out into everybody else's face.
After you made your vow, you made mistakes, baby. After you made your vow, but your mistake making is all over now.
The thing that everybody's unwilling to acknowledge about Sarah is the simple fact that her ass is more famous than her face.
It is my best asset, so.
She knows it's true.
People knew my ass before they knew who I was.
Hi ho the merry-o.
Show business has milked the idea to death, and it's not a new thing by any means. Ancient Greek theater had no women in the cast, and that went on for hundreds of years. So the tradition in the theater, the tradition of drag in performance, has never wavered. But the difference now is it's been so associated with the gay culture now because it's that performance on stage environment. Even people that aren't necessarily comfortable with gay culture, even people that aren't necessarily comfortable with drag culture, are comfortable with it in a performance environment because it's something that society has been used to seeing for years and years.
Oh my God! Is all of fucking Lebanon here? Holy shit!
I wake up each morning singing merrily, hi-ho the Mary-O, as long as she loves me. I can laugh at troubles, I'm happy as can be, hi-ho the Mary-O, as long as she loves me.
The idea of shooting drag queens has always just it's always just tickled me because it's very similar to what I do every day. You know, I'm a glamour photographer. There's no real difference, but in society's eyes, there's a huge difference between what I do and this. And I love doing things that people don't expect me to do. And it was very much like that when I did my men book. It completely shifted people's ideas of what I'm actually good at taking pictures of.
Like, don't tell him that.
Chris,
I think that's been.
do you mind if you did some of those close-up shots now?
I don't want
The eyelashes take.
No, that's no problem.
Yeah, I can do that. And make sure he knows that you're shooting, so he can keep
Right.
the voice up. Did you want to shoot some other stuff while we still have some light? Now, sometimes with stuff like this, it's
Especially when you're aiming a gun.
Yeah.
You know, it's you kind of gotta look. And that bike totally makes it too.
Yeah.
I love the antlers.
Isn't that funny though? Isn't it just a funny thing?
Yeah.
Are you still planning on leaving here at 6:30?
I'd like to, yeah. Well, somewhere around there, 6:30. That's all right.
It's all
Just
good.
checking.
I guess that would be the most, frustrating or hard part about something is just when we're trying to get something that we know we can do and it's just not coming together right at that moment, and it gets a little testy sometimes, but that's it. It doesn't happen that often, so.
I know, I love it. Whoops, there goes the ring. The drag queen, portrait thing has been done, and it's been done to death, and it's been done badly, and it's been done very well by a lot of different photographers. But I'm taking these people who are used to being in a club environment, used to being in their own safety zone, and I'm putting them in real life situations. I'm putting them in places where you would never expect to see someone in full drag.
Like magenta.
Yes.
Not everybody can pull off pink hair.
Because I think today is a say something
ready
hat
now.
day.
I really think it is.
What is
Crown.
that?
It's a crown.
That's our Sunday best.
Holy crap, lady.
Does it work?
Put the crown on it.
Put the crown on the hat.
Felicia O'Toole in her Sunday best.
Felicia O'Toole, undressed.
Take Mama back to the home.
It's a big night out. Where to start? Maybe with something light.
Yep, it's gonna be that kind of day. I can already tell.
Drag. Guy enters dressed as girl. William Shakespeare said it best. There's many reasons we each do this. None of them are the same. I've chosen this profession, if you will, or not even profession, it's more like a sick addiction. Some people like hard drugs, some people prefer alcohol. I like ladies' clothes and makeup. No, it's more of a art form. More of a ability to allow yourself to live outside your own restrictions. There's so many different guidelines to follow when it comes to defining drag queen. Anyone who wants an opportunity to be something that they always wanted to be but never thought they could, that's what we get to do every day.
Yeah, the first one.
There are moments that should be captured on camera, none of them being us. That's exactly what it should be. Because we look great from a distance. Back up a little bit.
I want her to do my face.
Jade, your ass is the size of Texas.
What? It's not big, it's advertising. I completely believe in nature versus nurture. I was raised by a single female hairdresser, however.
A gay single female hairdresser?
No, she's straight.
Mama didn't raise.
I'm straight too. Papa didn't raise me at all. I am the second coming of drag Jesus. Drag was something I always kind of flirted with the idea of doing, but never really took it seriously until this year. I always wanted to be in theater. Last summer, I got cast in a show where I was playing a 12-year-old girl. Quite the ego boost considering I just turned 31. And I thought, you know, if I can play a 12-year-old girl and have people believe it, why not be a little more glamorous and have a little bit more fun with it? You know, it's putting on a mask and getting to be someone else for a little while. A lot of people don't get to do that in their everyday life. You know, there's this person who works at a restaurant and they're a waiter and they're nice to their customers, even though they may not be the happiest person in the world. Drag takes that to a ridiculous level. RuPaul said it best when she said, "You're born naked and everything else is drag." And it's kind of true. Everything is a mask you put on. Drag itself is just an exaggerated version of that. This is the downside of drag. You end up with so much crap you don't know where to find your stuff. There it is. A lot of people think drag queens do it for the sexual thrill of it. If anyone can have sex wearing 4 pairs of tights, a corset, and fake boobs, more power to them. But for me, I'm not a girl. I don't want to be thought of as a girl. I don't want to have sex like a girl.
What do you want to be thought of as?
An entertainer. Someone that makes people smile, makes people laugh. Once I was on stage, everyone was like, "Oh, we understand why he was dressed like that. He's a she in the show now." A number of years ago, I was doing a Christmas show, and I play Santa's transgendered little sister, who is absolutely ridiculous and cartoony, who is very much like this. And all night long, their goal was to mess with the fag. And there are words that I just don't tolerate, and fag is one of them. And
it got to a point where I was just kind of like, okay, I can't have them thrown out because my boss would kill me. What am I going to do? So I decided I'm going to outdrink them. I went into the room. I was like, okay, boys, enough is enough. You want to mess with me? You have to be able to take it. And so, let's see, you all have a drink in your hands. Someone fill up my mug. And they were like, this skinny little girl is going to try to outdrink us.
I'm a delicate flower.
If any of you can outdrink me, then you are allowed to say fag all you want. If you cannot outdrink me, you're not allowed to say that word, and if you do, you all have to have drinks with me all night long. You know, made it very cheeky, very fun, and still kind of threw it in their face. Not a single one of them outdrank me. And they were very impressed, and I became their hero, so I kind of turned them around and thought, hey, you know what? She knows what she's doing. She's very funny. She's laughing. Everything's fine. Haven't seen them since. Hey, girl! It's new hair. I stole it. That's funny because it's true. Actually, they left it at the black and white party, so...
Everywhere I go, people know the part I'm playing. Paid for every dime, getting each romance. Every night some heart betrays.
Perfect. Don't move anything. I got one more.
There will come a day, youth will pass away. Then what will they say about me?
I wasn't trying to be dirty. No, I know. That's the other way it works.
As life goes on without me.
You ready for the movie? Oh, it's funny because like all the fruits here,
Yeah.
then you have like brushes.
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking, like putting that stuff there. I didn't even notice it until I was looking at it, but yeah, it's really out of place.
Which is fine, because
I don't want people to think that just because it's a man dressed like a woman that the makeup has to be caked on.
Right.
That it has to be huge all the way up to the eyebrows. The eyebrows have to be humongous. You know, I don't want them to think
What
that.
did you call it the other day? Garage doors.
Yeah, garage doors. That's what I said. That's
That's what
right.
she said.
But I don't want people to have to feel like that has to be, because you guys have your own femininity to yourselves to begin with. You know, you can play with the eyes, you can make that feminine. That's not hard.
That's a cheerful little earful. Gosh, I miss it, something fearful. And this cheerful little earful is the well-known I love you. Hearts can go down, business slow down, but the milk and honey flow down with a cheerful little earful of the well-known I love you. In every play, it's a set phrase.
I used to tell my nephew that we got him off the back shelf at Kmart.
Yeah.
And I still had the receipt. We can return his ass if he was bad. Well, my name is Aaron. I'm also known as Tyra B. Fierce. I'm from Columbia. Grew up in Lancaster. Columbia is pretty much a small town where anyone basically knows your business. Well, my grandmother bought me my first heels, and the reason she did it is because I came out, and everyone was still like hysterical about that. But she bought me my first heels, and my first performance was at Club Stallions in Harrisburg, and it's just, I love being something else. You can get away with so much more in drag than what you can as like Aaron. So.
Yeah, love it. Love it, love it, love it.
I'm adopted, and my parents actually don't know that I do drag, but I think if my parents would know, they'd be really supportive, because they're really supportive of my whole lifestyle. It's about, I guess, spreading equality. That's the only reason I do drag, is because I just like to promote everything equally across the board, and I think it's a way for everyone to have fun and everyone to basically come together and at one spot. Your eyes are really pretty.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna say that. I was like, they're like, every time I look away, they're like glowing.
Yeah, it doesn't help that the light's right there too, so they're like, beep.
I feel more comfortable around women because I was raised, prior to me being adopted, I was raised 3 girls in the house, and my mom, my two sisters, and myself. And I've always had that feminine role because that's what I knew. And I'm just more comfortable because we can go shopping and I'll spend hundreds of dollars, and basically it's just like as if I was with one of my best friends.
Hey, Scott. Hello. Hi.
There's a lot of straight people that think that, okay, a drag queen's an easy way to get closer to the straight guys and we want them, and it's not the case. The case is basically, we just like to have fun, and just as heterosexuals compete, we compete also. It's more so like a give and take and a runner-up type of thing.
I love you.
It's Narnia, but it's kind of like a dominatrix setup. Aslan is like
We're right next door. Not bad at all. Pretty cool. Somebody has to do something with this yard, because damn, it's really hurting. Well, ain't gonna be me. After that, I just didn't even care. It's like, we're just going. We're just doing it, and I don't give a damn. There was no stopping us at that point, because it was done. And it was the same way when we went to the laundromat the other day.
I stood there and had my photo taken. I didn't even speak to anyone when I walked in except for saying hello to the little girl who was running around. You know, it's a double-edged sword sometimes. You can either go into an area where you feel so much more confident about yourself, or you could go into an area and not feel confident about yourself. But again, if you project that you're loving it, people can't be mad at you. Because again, I wasn't doing anything to harm anyone. I was throwing fabric in the air, wearing a gorgeous outfit.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're always watched. Even when we're shopping, we're sitting there looking at the calories and everything, and people just kind of like look at us, and leaving the house in full drag because I'm running late for a performance, and people shout the slurs and the miscommunications that the society basically sees as an okay thing to say or an okay thing to do. Homo, faggot, queer, fudge packer. I've heard that recently.
That's spectacular. You know, they're completely dressed, they're completely covered. There's nothing there, you know, that would be bad for a kid to see. Let's just go do it.
And that's what it's all about.
And I worry so much, you know, when I'm doing it with the naked people, you know, because, you know, you have to. But with this, man, you don't got to worry about
White
nothing.
Rock looking after Boy Scouts.
Right, you know.
Let's go.
With this, you
Let's
don't
go.
have to worry
We're
about
at the door.
anything. You just go. Let's do the grocery store.
This is very Scott Church. This is what he lives for the most part. I mean, if it's out of control, if it's on location, he just likes to break all the rules. I mean, he's you ask for forgiveness rather than you would ask for permission, you know? You do what you do until you're yelled at, you're busted, and then you bullshit your way out of from the cops or whoever's property it is, you know? It's just the way you got to do things around here.
If we send you in first and fill everything up, so all we have to do is take the basket and put it in her hand, we can run with it. Oh God, here we are. Now we're, this mom's gonna freak out and be all pissed off. She's like, I love the green. It's like, God, no. And all I thought to myself was, you can get away with anything with drag queens.
I left the cap open on my black nail polish, and my drag mother says you can paint it with Sharpie. I hear they're nothing but hoes and tricks.
The same ones tell me that I'm not supposed to wear brown and black together. But I wear black with everything, so. Whoops.
It started in May of '09. I remember because I was always cross-dressing for as long as I can remember. I remember even when I was 6 seeing an advertisement for the My Size Barbie doll and saying, man, I would really like to wear that dress. Really cool. It kind of started off as like a sexual fetish thing, and I would wear my live-in, at the time, girlfriend's clothes, and I would put the pictures on the internet, and I received a very positive response. And I started doing drag a few years after that. I went to a drag show at the Tally Ho for the crowning of Miss Tally Ho, and I just remember seeing all the drag queens and how just magnificent they looked, and I said, man, they've got something, and I'm more androgynous than they are, well dressed as a boy. Hair out of my eyes.
I just pressed what?
The yellow button.
The name Alexis I actually picked in high school, which is a while ago. It's just the sexiest name in the world. It starts with a vowel, it's soft A, and has an X in the middle, and ends up in S. Just rolls off the tongue.
You're like, can I just stick off to somebody? Like, do I call it? I'm like, baby, it's gonna be cheesy. I'll take whatever.
Like,
First
I
person
feel a
that's
little
ready to hand out.
fiberglass today, bro. Who's got more?
Well, at the time that I created the character for Alexis, it was a time where I didn't have any self-confidence. I pretty much hated who I was. I just was dying to be anybody else, and I figured it just felt like when I dressed up as Alexis, I was somebody else, and just all the negative traits of who Mike was just melted away, and I could just dissolve into Alexis.
Say when, so my world may turn, the stars cannot burn, because they are waiting for you. The day cannot break through till you do. The night can fall. Say when, so my heart may be.
Now, not that it necessarily matters, but as far as the whole gender role goes, are you straight or gay?
That's another really funny question. Women are so magnificently beautiful. They're soft and they're curvy and they smell nice and they're petite, and I find guys very bulky and hairy and rough, and although I've been with men before, and when I'm with a man I feel much more feminine and much more womanly, I just can't deny how attracted I am to women. I feel like I'm a trans girl, but when I was getting to know myself towards the end of college, actually, I, more than anything, actually wanted to take female hormones and become a girl, and I really thought about it. I started dressing like a girl almost every day, doing my makeup at work, and it actually got me in a bunch of trouble. But I realized that through all the hormones and all the surgeries in the world, I'm never going to be fully genetically female.
Right.
So I think in my mind, in order to just be okay with that, I decided to eliminate gender roles in my life and I created the character of Alexis because she was everything I wanted to be.
Sure.
She was pretty, she was self-confident, she was witty and coy, and that's kind of just who I wanted to be. And I realized that I didn't need to put on all the makeup to be Alexis.
Right.
And, you know, I don't need to wear the heels and the leggings and the dresses to be Alexis. So now, no matter what I'm wearing, I'm Mike and Alexis. So I guess I'm kind of gender fluid.
Say when I may have you all for my own, I'm yours all alone. When you say when.
One more, just pick your chin up a little bit higher. There it is. I love it. I love it. The color is so much prettier. Tell me that's not a better shot.
You know what? I can hear your rottenness out here.
See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Oh, yeah. A condom, one big gun.
You never know.
You never know when you need to be prepared. One big gun.
No glove, no love.
No, you know what? I always say practice safe sex. Wear a harness.
Or a helmet.
Or a helmet for those that are special. I love people who think they're special and are just pretty and dumb.
Huh?
What, Jade?
Hi.
Hi. She's pretty and dumb, and we love her.
Yay. She called me pretty.
Show me the crown.
Oh,
my crown. I'm crowning.
No, that's
Oh,
Queen Bee.
God. None of that, Felicia.
I was in a lot of theater productions and stuff in high school, and I was singing in choirs and that sort of stuff. So I always liked performing. And so this is not a whole lot about being a woman as it is about performing. Just sort of like having that outlet, Don't really do musicals anymore. This is just pretty much acting for me. So I find it very enjoyable.
Yay. I'm getting pretty.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, whatever. Prettier than you.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, I'm currently a student. I actually am a student at Harrisburg University. I am studying integrative science with a concentration in biochemistry. My goal is actually to end up in a laboratory. I want to work on cures for diseases like HIV and stuff.
You have to go home and deal with your woman's lady issues.
We gotta
Or
try.
lower plumbing problems.
Well, I'm not gay. I'm straight.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Straight to the next cock.
Yeah, you are.
But yeah, no, so I actually was straight in high school and dated females and did all that jargon. And then when I joined the military, well, actually right before I joined the military, I realized that I was actually gay and was like, okay, I'm not going to BS anymore. And I admitted to myself.
Sitting in the recruiter's office and he said, "Are you or have you ever been homosexual?" And you thought to yourself,
Yes.
maybe.
Actually, yeah.
It was really hard because it felt like I was living a lie for 3 years of my life when I was in the military. When I went to Iraq, they actually found out that I was gay. I mean, you're in really small quarters, so it's kind of hard to keep that kind of a secret. And they were actually kind of cool with it. And then I went to my second unit, and again, I had to put on the facade and pretend I was straight again, and kept that a complete secret. And then I was actually there, and they're actually who kicked me out of the military when I was in my second unit for Don't Ask, Don't Tell. My commander went to a diner, the same diner I was in, and saw me kiss my boyfriend at the time, and came up to my table and said, "You need to see me in my office Monday morning," and kicked me out. under that clause.
Trying to squeeze into some
I gotta
purple
get those. I gotta
sequins.
get those eyelashes.
Wow. Wait, what size? I actually haven't even told my parents that I do drag. My sister knows and my fiance knows, but I haven't told my mom and my dad. They're Southerners and very, well, my mom's very conservative, so I don't. Eventually, I'm sure she'll find out and I'll tell her, or my sister will slip up and tell her, but as long as I don't have to, I won't.
Queen of just a plain old rocking chair, where she holds me safe from harm.
Best
So
of both,
I
you
don't
know?
have to die to go to heaven. I'm in heaven when I'm in my mother's arms.
The crazy one, right?
The
Oh,
mirror
okay.
tits are the crazy
The mirror
one.
tits are. Okay, gotcha.
But they're both like silver, so. Do you know how to contour cheeks and everything?
With a highlight and a little
Yeah.
huh?
Okay, good.
No worries, baby. I've been doing this for almost 5 years. I know how to do it for camera.
Damn.
I have this great story of this mom who had one son and a 2-bedroom house and adopted a second son because she wanted to have the 2 boys in the same bedroom. And then she's a progressive mom, so she was teaching sign language to the kid before he could talk. So she's signing for boy. I think that's the sign for boy. And the child is signing back girl. And I met that child at the age of 5 running around in a polka dot dress, the happiest little girl you ever saw. But that kid knew, pre-verbal, no, mommy, I'm a girl. You know, and at least mom, you know, had her head together enough to go, oh, let's look at this instead of what, you know, we tried to do. No, you can't do that, you know. When we brought Will home, Will was the happiest baby you ever saw. We would call Will Happy Baby because it was unbelievable. In the midst of ear infections or whatever, this kid was always smiling and laughing. And then we went through those awful years where we tried to deny who he was, and he turned into this grumpy, terrible, nasty child.
I don't
give me
care. It's milk and magnesia. It's like $3 for a huge bottle.
I've always been comfortable with myself. It's them who made me not comfortable.
Yeah. When Will was 4, he came to me and said, Mommy, something went wrong in your belly. I was supposed to be a girl. And I said, no, I'm real clear that you're a boy. I've seen the parts, and please give me back the Barbie doll and don't go outside in the tutu. I'm married to a former Marine who really was very concerned. We've always been concerned about Will getting bullied or beaten up. And we tried really, really hard to, you know, teaching the kid karate and trying really hard to just toughen this kid up and make Will more of a boy. By the age of 6, Will actually threatened suicide.
So boring.
Yeah.
Especially being in the car with my parents. Slow down, you're going too fast. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, my friend taught me how to drive.
They took me to karate. They tried to make me ride a bike. I'm just like, I don't really like riding a bike. It's not my thing. I'm not really an outdoorsy person. They keep sending me to sleepaway camps. I'm just like, I don't really like sleepaway camps. There's no bathroom. I need a working toilet. I didn't see them as my parents. For the longest time, I didn't see my parents as being as related to me. I just saw them as people that told me what to do. And just had to obey them because they paid for stuff.
Right.
Nope, no force for me.
It was extremely difficult. Because we didn't understand, we didn't, you know, we felt so cut off from our child. Will never wanted to spend time with us, and he was always angry, and he was always nasty. And we'd look at other people and their kids and go, what the heck? You know, how come they have such a great relationship with their kid? So it was very difficult. It was very, very difficult. So we just, you know, struggled in our own ignorance, and it was not, you know, it's a shame. I wish I could have all those years back. I'd love to go back and do it again, knowing what I know now, you know? I might have enjoyed you. You might have enjoyed us. Let's see, it was the age of 15. We had this like coming of age where Will could move his bedroom into the basement, and we could decorate it any way he wanted. Because prior to that, it's been, no, you can't have pink, you have to have blue, and no, you did it. So we went downstairs and we were painting the room. It's the pinkest, pom-pommiest room in all of Howard County, I swear. And we were painting it, and Will said something to me at the time. He said, Mom, I have the best of both worlds. I'm a girl on the inside and a guy on the outside. And I thought that was an odd thing to say. And then at some other point during the painting, we got in this huge argument. We were yelling at each other, and I screamed at Will, look, you can be as gay as you want, but if you go trans on me, it's on your own time and your own money and out of my house. because I just didn't have any idea, obviously, what I was talking about. And then, gosh, it was 2 months later when I was in the car wash listening to NPR, and they were doing a series on trans, and they interviewed a little 6-year-old trans girl, so born a boy but living as a girl. And she said something went wrong in my mommy's belly. I was supposed to be a girl. And then they interviewed a 47-year-old trans woman who had just transitioned, and she said, for years, I thought I had the best of both worlds. I was a girl on the inside and a guy on the outside. And I sat in that car wash, and that was like a come to Jesus parenting moment. I was like, oh my God, what have we been doing to this poor child? My sister said to me, you need to take Will to a place where Will can see himself in other people so he can figure out who he is. So I took Will to a pride parade in Baltimore, and Will walked right up to the drag stage and said, I want to do that. And I remember going like, go look over there, go try those trans, but try something else.
Hello, boys. What are you going to sing? What have we got lips for? What have we got time for?
When Will steps on stage, my happy baby's back. So it's just the most beautiful thing you could ever see. Will's in her element. When she's Whitney, she is just thrilling to watch, and she's excited and lights up.
It was on a stage, and they just looked so pretty, and it just looked fun to me. I just wanted to do it, and I just knew deep down that I would be good at it, because it's lip syncing, and just dancing around and looking pretty, and I can already do that. And I was like, I can do that, and I want to do that.
It's it. It's who he is. It's his sense of self that we were shaming. You know, absolutely. I totally get it now, but then I didn't. Oh, wow. The journey, the incredible journey this kid has gone through just to be who she is. And you know who you are in spite of what the world wants to do to you, and I just can't believe my kid. I think she's magic. But adults, I think we're just taught to see this as a perversion. I thought it was a perversion. Here I am. If you want to go trans on me, get out of my house. I was taught to think that this was something that perverse people did to themselves, rather than something that just is part of God's great, beautiful diversity.
You know the debt of love you owe her, you can never pay. Go take her in your arms and kiss her tears away. And baby, your mother, like she baby.
What feelings do you have for her now?
I love her because she's my mommy.
I love you too, sweetie. Because you're mine.
I'm walking with the moonbeams, talking to the stars, telling all the world that I'm in love. I am playing leapfrog with the stormy clouds. Heaven is my playground up above. I am tickled pink to think he said I love you so. So I went and got myself a rainbow for my.
It's a coat being flown.
Nice. And that goes with this?
No, that goes with the other outfit.
Okay. All right.
The other outfit's like a new all rhinestone gown.
Oh, okay. So this coat
goes
goes with that.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's all you need to do.
You remember what your first costume as a kid growing up was?
Halloween costume?
Yeah, any kind of costume, like Halloween or dress up. Just
Oh, dress up. I have a picture of it at home. So I call it my first drag picture. It's me standing in front of the front door with a blue ski cap on, huge Jackie O sunglasses, white socks pulled up as opera-length gloves, and my grandmother's great big huge black patent leather purse. How's it coming there? Getting there?
It's amazing the transformation I have to see.
It's not gonna fit. You just have to zip it as close as. Oh, we're not a couple.
No.
Just friends.
Just friends.
My boyfriend's working today.
My boyfriend's working, mine's at work.
Okay.
So, no.
One thing
Her
for sure
opinion
is, in this business, you have a lot of sisters that
You know, she normally has everything pretty well put together, but a lot of times it will be you need to help somebody like slip on their shoes if they're in a dress that's hard to get to. You might need to help sometimes style their hair. I mean, it can be as simple as, oh crap, I don't have enough pantyhose. Can you run down to the Walgreens and get me a pair? For someone to be able to do all of this and be able to walk out and for a second you go, is that really a woman? Or what's going on there? That's what I find interesting about it. It's the after effect once they figure out, oh wait, that's a man.
It's a great life if you don't. Wicked, you're a great guy if you won't. Wicked if you don't lose heart. The hardest part is the first 100 years. It's a great life if you're sick. Do it, yes, a great world with a kick. Do it if you come up strong. It won't be long till the sunshine appears. If you let him whip you, Mr. Gloom will knock you cold. Get him, never let him use the well-known stranglehold. It's a great life.
I think it's the expression. A lot of drag when I started out was really being able to be myself, and I was a very kind of shy kid, more behind the scenes, kind of wallflowerish, and being a drag queen, which a lot of drag queens say, gave them or gave me the opportunity to come out of my shell and be a different person and have that opportunity to be more outgoing and be more of a personality.
Just like that.
So many people have always believed that men are supposed to be men and women are supposed to be women. And when you're gay, it blurs that line. And then if you're a drag queen or a drag king on top of that, it blurs that line even more. One of the hardest things, I think, for a female impersonator or a drag queen is to find somebody to be in a relationship with. There are some that really like a drag queen or like to be with a drag queen. But on the other hand, very many people are against it in that they look at it, and the comment I always got was, if I wanted to be with a woman, I'd be with a woman.
Did you know about this when you first?
I knew this was Miss Kitty. I did know that because I had been out on occasion and I did see some of the shows. And that was one of the funny things too. One of our first dates was he was performing, and he was very nervous whether I would even stay at the bar after I saw him perform. Of course I did. Yeah, it was... Well, I think previous to that, I never really watched the shows. But since I knew Miss Kitty was performing, so then I actually sat and watched the entire show. And then to see him in full illusion, I mean, my jaw dropped. This is amazing. And since then, I mean, in the beginning, going to the pageants and seeing what these guys go through is amazing to me. What they put themselves through. So, yeah, it's been an education, let's just say that.
Mainly, the first thing is so many other gay men do not want to have anything to do with the drag queen. They, like I said before, they pretty much say, if I wanted to be with a woman, I would be straight. Because they have a tendency to feel that because you do drag, that's what you want to be. You want to be a woman. And that's not the case. So it's very hard to make someone understand that and be with them long enough to make them understand that, because so many times that wall gets put up right away that you don't have the chance to explain. You don't have the chance for them to see you in day-to-day, acting like a man, dressing like a man, working as a man, 90% of your life. So this is Kitty's room. You can see that's the performance wardrobe and the furs, handbags, other wearing wardrobe, and of course behind you are all the shoes. Room for him, dude?
I put up the bar and reinforced this bar because I knew there was a lot of stuff coming.
Yeah.
About my only involvement, though, is to help carry dresses and boxes and things like that. I can't, to be backstage with all of them stresses me out beyond belief. I can't handle that. So if he ever competes again, which I'm sure he will, my involvement's gonna be very much in the background. He threw a dress at me and he said it needs rhinestones. And when he's getting ready for a show, it's very intense. So pretty much just do what he says and go with it. Otherwise, it's not going to be a good scene.
Okay.
So I was sitting in a hotel room on a bed with an iron, laying out rhinestones on this dress and heating them to adhere them to the dress, freaking out that I might burn the sheer underneath or the sheer. It was a little stressful, but I did it, and it was a fantastic dress.
Yes.
And we don't want anybody out there getting any ideas like I do this for hire or anything like that.
Yeah, no. He's mine and mine alone, girls. Keep your hands off.
My mother, I think, was really receptive to that when you showed the pictures to her. That's not him. Yes, Mother, that's him. And it's the same at work, too, where I've shown pictures of Miss Kitty. That's not a guy. Yes, that's my partner, Rob. This is Miss Kitty. It's also funny, too, that sometimes when you go to these shows, there are straight couples there. And the women walk up to him, and they have such a venomous look in their face. They just hate him because everything's perfect. How did you do that? I love those moments.
And this is where Pappy and I sit at night.
Here we live in a small town. And we're even beyond suburbia here, where it's a small town. And I think our living here and the neighbors, the community, seeing us together. They'll see us in the community. The neighbors watch and see me working on something, seeing him in the garden. We're just normal people like you. We're going to work every day. We're trying to make a living. We're paying our bills. And we just happen to be two gay men. We're really not all that different from you. And I think that is a big step in living here. And I think there's been a response. You get neighbors who seem to be standoffish for the longest time, but then one day you get a hello, and then you strike up a conversation. And I think that's for us is probably the best way we can do it in living here.
If I had a talking picture of you, I would run it every time I felt blue.
I think it could be a tool of understanding. I think it's something to open the door. You have to break down the wall or start breaking down the wall somehow. So I think in one way, yes, that's a way to bridge the gap. But I mean, on the other hand, you don't want the straight community in general thinking that every gay man's a drag queen, and because that's not true either. I mean, we're a segment of the gay population.
I think it's most important for, just like in this film, to understand that there are two sides to the coin.
I would give 10 shows a day and a midnight matinee if I had a talking picture of you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
My sister, I think she's on a plane.
What do you think, Jim? Fun, yes.
My niece's birthday.
What it started out being was a very simple idea, and that lasted about 10 minutes, where it was simple before it became a necessity to really make it a statement on culture itself and how people perceive the drag culture in general, and trying to change people's perception about the drag culture in general. And what it's turned into since then has been a statement on acceptance.
Where's your shit again?
Don't do it!
I am doing it right now, actually.
I will untuck your ass.
The tuck. What's the preference on that exactly?
There's different ways to do that. It's more when you wear skimpy things, you actually look like a real woman.
Yeah, you just take the duct tape and just pretty much go up behind, which hurts like hell.
And some people get really tight underwear and do that, and then put another pair of tight underwear on top of it.
Yeah.
My drag sister, I love her to death. And I met her prior to me doing drag on a full-time basis. I got to watch her wrap a shoelace around it, put the other end of a shoelace through a ping pong ball, and put the ping pong ball up you-know-where. No, that's the strangest I've ever heard. I know people, duct tape is standard. I don't do duct tape either.
Beautiful cleavage.
Then what happens is that you got like the whole diaper thing going on, because unless you put it right on it, you got to do like a napkin. Some people use pads with wings, like feminine products.
Heavy flow days.
Heavy flow days? You mean every day for you, Jay DeVere?
I know.
No, I go like this.
Honey, turn around.
before I
We
get
need
in.
a view of the back here because this
Back?
the back.
I like the sauce!
I'm in a swimsuit.
He's not an angel, but I don't care. Perhaps a change will come someday. Whatever he is, I wanna be his way. Go on, my mammy, I don't need a friend. My heart is broken, it won't ever mend. I ain't much caring just where I will end, but I must have that man. I'm like an oven.
That's it.
Cool. Wonderful. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's pretty much the outfit right there.
Yeah. And the boots,
Just,
yeah.
whatever you put with that,
Yeah, and my
it
boots
pretty
and
much
stuff,
sells
so-
the whole idea.
Yeah.
So I'm with you.
Plus, I had the hat.
Perfect.
Don't wait till mother's hair has turned to silver before you come back home. You know she cannot wait forever for the boy who had to roam.
Well, I was born and raised on a farm. That's pretty much what I did all in my summer hours. My summer hours were spent working out in the fields with my grandmother and picking potatoes, picking corn. We did all the farm stuff. I really didn't have the time at that time when I was that age because I worked a lot. If I wasn't in school, I was working on the farm, so I was always kept busy. I didn't have a lot of playtime. I think the most I ever did was ride my bike up and down the street that we lived on. I spent most of my life doing responsible things. 5 years old, standing up on a chair doing dishes. I didn't have much of a childhood, per se.
When we said goodbye, she still was smiling, but inside I knew
wait till mother's hair has turned to silver.
My mother tried to accuse me at the age of 4 of hurting my brother. So she decided to want to try to hurt me. She tried to beat me up, took me down to the basement and decided to beat me up. Called my aunt, sis up, who worked as a paralegal, and told me to come get me or she'd kill me. Am I just gonna follow you, Scott?
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why I found my husband the way I did. I was 13 years old, he was 21, so he was twice my age. It was somebody who showed some kind of, I guess per se at that point, parenting to me, in my eyes, because he was somebody who cared about me and treated me for who I was, not for something that supposedly I did. And I think that's one of the reasons what attracted me to him the most. It was all incognito, per se, until the day actually came that I told him I was pregnant. Everybody hated it, everybody disagreed with it, but everybody dealt with it and went on their way. You know, we did the wedding thing, we did, you know, a small little thing at the chapel, which my mother could not show up for. Relationship between my mother really never has gotten much better, except maybe in between years, but it's still the same way. But she always had an excuse for something, so.
Called him, he looked at me and just turned his head the other way.
Go up close. If I shoot it with the long lens, I can bring the horse in close. Hey, sweetie, don't. Just wait. Back up. Yeah, I'm gonna get a shot here first. Where that stick is, right there. You got it. Hold on, I'll fix the flash. Wait.
Specifically for my beard. And that's these here. This is all my stuff that I use. The eyeliner, which is actually what I put on with my beard, different colors. We stick with the brown because it's closer to my own natural color. Brushes to actually put the hair on. This is like an afterglow. I usually throw this on because of the glittery look, but I actually have spray now for this. So once in a while I just bring out my beard and put some glittery spray on it. But this here is actually my hair that we keep. You can see that. That actually gets brushed onto my face with the spirit gum. It's your everyday average Halloween gum or spirit, you know, the glue and stuff like that. That's what a lot of the kings use.
What happened?
A hairy lip.
Ow.
Me and my husband at the time were having a lot of downfalls. He was very abusive, physically and mentally. I went home to terror. He snapped off at me. We had a fight back and forth. I told him I was leaving. I was tired of it. He kicked me in my back, my stomach. He bent me up with a pair of nunchucks. He smashed my head. We had a thick, about this thick of a coffee table, a rounded coffee table like this one, and he actually took my head and smashed my head off of it. He was arrested that night. I knew he was vindictive because I already had a PFA. He was released from prison. I knew something was going to happen. I just didn't know what it was or how bad it was going to be. And I was sitting in my living room couch on the phone with a friend of mine who I met when I was working at M&Q, and we were, you know, bullshitting back and forth on the phone, and all of a sudden I heard a knock on my door. And it wasn't a light knock, it wasn't a fake knock, it was a very loud knock. And I knew right from there, right then, that it was him. I stood up and I wanted to hit the off to hang up on the girl I was talking to, and I tried to hand the phone to my son to tell him to call 911. But instead of me hitting the off button, I hit the flash button, which means he couldn't make the call. He kept trying to say, "Mommy, Mommy, I can't." Just as I go to reach down to get the phone off of him, my ex-husband drove the SUV he was driving through my house. In the midst of that, he gets out of the vehicle. He walked toward me like this with a knife in his hand, and I just took my hands and I went up like this to stop him. And when I flipped, he just went to town on my back. He stabbed me from the middle of my back, the back of my neck, all the way down to like the center of my shoulder blades. The reason as to why he stopped was because the blade had broken off in my back. It was a 6-inch serrated steak knife with a wooden handle, and it broke. So he kind of just pitched the handle and took off. Definitely cherished life because I almost lost mine. That was definitely an eye opener. From that point on, my trust issues came into play. I'm not a very trusting kind of person. I don't trust a lot of people, no matter how close I am to them. I'm not an openly trustable kind of person because I realized that even though you think you know somebody, you don't really know them. So my trust issues are very hard to deal with, and my partner has to deal with that on a daily basis.
Part of it was the abuse. I had been through the abuse and I wasn't getting the affection that I thought I should have gotten. But I think a lot of it was just hearing what she had been through and her still being here fighting the way she is. The person that I was seeing at the time had got me interested in women to an extent, and I just basically I took it from there. I actually pursued her for 2 years. She had taken me to a drag show. It was the first time I was ever at one, and just sitting there normally, and I looked at her and said, "You could do that," and it kind of just went from there, pretty much. Like,
from that point, we kind of like, we dilly-dally around, we'd play around the house, and we'd put some stuff on my face and be like, "Oh yeah, that looks pretty good." And I know how it feels because when I'm at shows on a normal basis, I'm like, hey, I'm getting into it. I enjoy, what they say, what they do. So I wanted to be a part of that.
Hey, how you doing? At this time, would you please welcome to the stage? His name is Vince Rowe.
For many years, before I actually came out, I lived my life as a person that I wasn't really, I have kids, I was married, which that's not who I was. I know that I was pretty much gay from the beginning. It's just that I wasn't raised. My grandmother was old-fashioned. She was the old style. And it wasn't something you heard of back then. It wasn't right. It wasn't, normal. So I tried to live the life that people wanted me to make. But now I get a choice to live a life that I want to. Just something nice to be able to put myself in another role and do, again, like the Queens, just do what I would not normally do on a daily basis. Some of the clothes that I wear I would not normally do, or some of the way I act I would not normally do on a normal I think a lot of it, I think almost every single show, at the start of it, I think almost every single show we've gone to, once I started doing my beard the right way, without the glare and stuff, is there's always at least one person who comes up and literally asks me if I'm a guy or a girl because they can't figure it out.
Columbus took a chance, and I would take a chance as long as there's a moon up above. But I don't want to make history, I just want to make love. Napoleon took a chance, but when I think of France, it's Josephine that I'm thinking of. 'Cause I don't want to make history, I just want to make love. We all can't be heroes, we all can't be...
I'm a much stronger person. Stronger with the experience, stronger with having a rock as a partner, per se, because I always tell her on a constant basis she's my rock. She holds me together. And now doing shows and stuff again, it makes me be able to forget all that bad, heartache, unmemorable stuff that I don't want to see anymore. That I don't even know it's there. And that's what takes me away from it. It puts me in my own fantasy world for a little bit.
What does it matter if rain comes your way and raindrops patter down? The rain descending should not make you blue. The happy ending is waiting for you.
My mom has been with me since October 21st of 1991. I took for granted what I have. My mom was, even if I was acting up, she fought to make sure I got help. She fought to keep me Yet all this time, where am I? I'm being stupid, trying to cheat life and go over rules. Yet there is a little thing she did I remember the most, like going to Roadside America, a place full of trains. That day was That day was just peace and full of fun. We sang Amazing Grace on the computer together. All in all, I took for granted what I have, and I wish I had changed my past, but what don't fail you only makes you stronger. What can I say anymore to show all my love? I love you. No, I can't speak louder than that with my actions. How you may ask? By making myself a great future to show my mom raised me right. So who is my mom? The greatest thing in life? That's who. And that's my son.
Aren't we all in search of happiness? To each one it means a different thing. To some it well.
One thing that I will say for sure, which is that we're all a sisterhood, or a brotherhood, or Jay DeVere, which is unexplainable.
My balls hurt. Such a lady.
It's more than just a family. It's
more like a harem.
It's more like a harem. It's rude.
They pass us around when they're done with us.
Yeah. There's the families that pass on names. There's the families that pass on makeup. There's families that don't do shit for you.
Right.
And then, basically, you still have to create your own illusion. You have to be able to say, this is what I like about this is what I don't like about this, and make it your own.
Wear a dress or pants?
A drag mother is typically a more, I don't want to say an older queen, but a more seasoned queen that helps out a younger queen. You know, the drag family, for a lot of young drag queens in training and young gay men in general, becomes more like a family. You know, the drag mother can take on that very serious aspect of being the mother that maybe wasn't necessarily there for the kid. My first time being around other drag queens while I was in drag, I met a drag queen by the name of Whitley Nicole DeAir, who is absolutely wonderful.
My tie is on my collar, ticket man done got my dollar. Hush my mouth if I ain't going south. Open up the cabin door. My trunk is in my pocket. Lot of junk, don't need to hock it. Hush my mouth if I ain't going south. Polish up the cabin floor, show. Ain't seen my mammy for the longest time. I know my pappy's getting old.
Well, we'll get that. Oh shit, there's beer. How you assholes doing at the bar?
I could be Whitley and I can do anything I want. I could skydive and drag and I wouldn't be afraid. But I can't do that as me. I've actually over the years I've kind of combined Whitley and myself as one person finally. But it's taken years to do it because it was like having a personality disorder, but I don't. Because I would act a totally different way whenever I was in drag than whenever I was out of drag. But I'm an entertainer. That's all I am. I don't want to be a woman. No way. I don't want any of that.
Are we gonna have a good time tonight? Well, I just want to say, if I piss any of you motherfuckers off, you shouldn't be out in Lebanon after dark anyway. I'm a 47-year-old fat drag queen that has nothing better to do on a Saturday night than to be here and entertain you motherfuckers. I think I gotta pee.
I was dating a actual drag queen, and we were trying to fool one of our friends, and they bet me $500 that I couldn't fool this guy if I got in drag and get him into bed. Well, I fooled him and I won the $500 bet. And it stuck. And I've been doing it ever since. Not getting people in bed for $500, but doing drag itself. So it stuck. I used to like Whitney Houston. I hated the name Whitney, wanted to change it. So I just did L-E-Y after it, Whitley. And that was way before Jasmine Guy came out from, what was it, A Different World? I was Whitley before she was. Actually, before I started doing drag, I did something called Male Lead, which was I would be on stage with the drag queens, but as myself. And they called me Richard DeBarge. So I liked the DE, and I was trying to think of how could I keep that, because Whitley Nicole DeBarge just sounded stupid to me. So I was like, the fridge, the car, the house, and then I came up with an air, not air you breathe, and that's how I got the air.
But remember, I get to tuck you.
There are some perverts out there in the world, I swear to God. Just because I put $45 worth of makeup on my face doesn't really mean that I'm gonna go home with you and put that between your legs. I'm not wasting that makeup on you. I'm a man. I want to be with a man. I'm not going to be with you in drag. It defeats the purpose totally. If you want to be with somebody like me, you want to be with a transsexual. You don't want to be with me. I'm not having sex with you as Whitley. It's not gonna happen. And it drives me crazy. And if they contact me on Facebook and they're like, let me see your clitty, no, I don't have one of those. I have a penis, not a clitty, and you're not gonna see either one.
You need to calm the fuck down. Girl, I got $45 worth of makeup on my face and you're screaming like a fucking idiot.
So, explain. What do we have here?
Well, this is my Miss Reading Pride Celebration crown. A crown normally never changes me, but moving to Reading from Tennessee really was like my extended home. And not to have this last year was kind of sad for me because I got first runner up. But I finally won this year, so I'm happy. I myself, I didn't realize that I was gay. I didn't know what gay meant really back then. I was like 15, whenever I started realizing I was totally different than everybody else. There was a point in my life where I got in with some of the wrong people that didn't know that I was gay. And I went on some trips with them to beat up some gay people. And I'm not very proud of it at all. I mean, to what it is today, if you did that today, you would be prosecuted. I mean, I didn't harm anybody myself, but I went with them and I witnessed it. And I even saw some of these kids at the gay bar afterwards, whenever I finally came out. And they were like, why were you there? And I'm like, I had to fit in with the crowd. If I didn't, I would have got my butt beaten. And that wasn't going to happen. And they were like, well, we're just glad that you weren't the one that, was hitting us with rocks and all that other stuff. And I said, I just didn't have it in me. I mean, I went through the whole thing of being with my son's mother and through high school and everything, and it just went from there.
So you had a good old-fashioned heterosexual relationship.
Yes, I did. Time. Yes, I did. And then he was born. It was. I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, it was the best feeling in the world. It was a part of me laying in my hands and looking at him and making sure he had 10 fingers and 10 toes and ears and everything else. And I think I looked at him nonstop and he screamed at me, and I mean, it was great. It was the best feeling.
What were you thinking? Okay, how do I give this kid now a normal life?
I couldn't even describe normal to you, though. What's a normal life? I just wanted to be the best dad I could be for him. Basically, before he was born, she told me that she didn't love me and that she never loved me. And that confused me. So I was confused even after he was born, because I was like, what am I doing? I have a child that I brought into this world that I can't really be with now. But she kept him away from me. I'd go through like where he was born and drive and not even know if he was outside playing, if I could see him outside playing.
I don't think my mom knew what to do with me either, really, personally. Like, as a child, I don't think she knew how to handle the situation. And I was kind of put off on other relatives, but most of the time I ended up getting kicked out of other relatives' houses. And I was pretty much on the streets or living with friends or relatives off and on since like the age of 12, or just out on the street somewhere doing whatever, stealing for food, you know, whatever. And I don't know, it was wild for a long time, and it was pretty rough. But I got to the point to where I couldn't find a job anymore. I couldn't find anybody that would be willing to let me stay with them for at least an extended period of time. And I was like, you know what, like, Dad's been trying to get me to come with him for a long time. Like, I might as well give it a shot, because nothing else working here, so see what happens.
Of course, we had to go all the way to Philadelphia to get you. It wasn't his fault. He kind of fell asleep on the bus, so it took him to Philadelphia, and then from here we had to drive all the way to Philly, and there he is sitting outside, sleeping, and I'm like, that looks like my son there. And all I could see was this mass of like curly hair and his head hanging down. So I was like, Mikey, and he didn't answer, nothing. Next thing I know, I went over there and touched him, and he went, hey, Dad. I'm a good dad, though. I mean, I care about him. I couldn't be the dad for him whenever he was a teenager, and I hope I've made up for it now.
Where shall I find what I found when I first met you? You were a sign, but I simply can't forget you. Where shall I go when I go?
I don't know, it was like I'd known him my whole life, pretty much. Like, we goofed off, we hung out. He knows I love him, and he's done a lot to help me out and help me through a lot of hard times. And it's been pretty rough for both of us, I think. Like, he's had to go through hard times as well. And we fight, we argue, but we know that we love each other no matter what.
Ow, that's my nipple!
People are gonna think we're gay out here. My son he moved from Tennessee to here about 5 years ago, and I took him to Gay Pride in Harrisburg, and I was performing, and that was the best day of my life. My son walked up to me and tipped me and told me, he said, I love you, Dad. And that meant more to me than anything in the world.
It was kind of awkward for me, but at the same time, like, I'm a real open person. Like, it doesn't bother me. I mean, be yourself. I mean, that's what I want people to accept me as, so I don't have the right to judge anybody for who they are.
Wait till right after these cars go. Who's yelling at me? Hey, how are you, brother? Lebanon is never this busy, I swear to God. This is ridiculous. I want one red light. All right. Let them go. Come to the spot. Right? There. Stop. Up. Don't worry about the cars. Fuck them. Lift your chin up. Good. Out.
I'll wave at people. I don't give a shit. How you doing? Hello.
Is it the naughtiness of it? Is it the...
My philosophy on it is I think they're curious because they want to know what is going on with us. Like I said, I just enjoy doing it. I have so much time and money invested into this. It's kind of hard to stop now. I mean, if you look in the kitchen now, you'll see my sewing machine set up, and I have a mannequin in there, and I am constantly making things. Ask my son. He knows. I'm always coming in here going, how's this look on me? And he's like, oh, that's pretty cool. I come up with something new all the time. I keep reinventing myself because I want people to go, holy shit. Did you see that? I've never seen anything like that before. And that's what gets me.
Wow.
Okay, Jade, I'm gonna need your assistance.
Hang on, I'm gluing a wig on. On a Saturday afternoon, 11 bowling alley is so not ready for this.
Oh, we should have waited.
It's so not ready for this.
I got a church looking like this.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, yes, it stretches for days, girl. It's sequel queen.
It stretches for days.
Holy shit.
That's my ex.
Oh my god.
My ex pad.
Yes.
I'm starting to fix it up a little bit.
That is so exactly where I parked my car. Yeah, about that. Okay, alright. Alright, I do really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Alright, talk to you soon. Yep, bye. Alright, bye. They're still okay. They know we're coming.
They just don't know what's coming.
I don't know if they're ready for this.
Oh, that business. Certain business. A funny business.
Just gotta go straight down. Thank
Give
you.
me
I'll
that
come right
business
back.
in F. Feet are tappy. Make it snappy. Keep me happy. Give me that business in F. Come on now, start it moving easy. Pick it up there, make it breezy. Hit it, don't you tease me. Oh, don't be hiding. Keep it
Too big, too tight.
Ah, you're right. Give me that business in F.
And fabulous.
when we started this project, I really had no idea exactly where we were going to go with it. I had a general thought process. I knew what I wanted to try to say with the images. I knew what I wanted to try to capture with the movie that we were shooting, you know, while we were doing it. But what we've ended up with is so much more compelling. I've always known these people both ways, and you know, their characters and their real lives, and I think that one of the most important things that we've really gotten to show everyone is who these people really are on both sides of the makeup. You can't buy that. You can't ask for that. It has to be given to you, and we've really just been given such a gift with everyone that we've got to see and to work with and to interview and to make a part of this, and man, it all just came together so nicely.
And would you also please welcome Miss Felicia O'Toole?
I have always been of the mind that a photographer should not be allowed to photograph something that he isn't willing to do himself. I don't give myself any room. If I'm going to ask someone to do something for me, I have to be able to not only put myself in that exact same situation, but do it, and do it publicly.
This is my job. I do this for a living. Can I have something very strong? Can I have a White Russian?